Reading a wine label can be something of a minefield, but if you want to make sure that you're buying a good wine, there are a few things that you can look for that helps you identify where your wine's coming from and hopefully give you some idea of vintage and style and quality of the wine. Each country has different labelling laws, and not every country puts grape varieties on a wine label. But if a wine has been estate bottled, in the case of this wine from France, this wine from Chile and this wine from Australia, there'll actually be the name of the estate on the wine. In this case, the Chateau de Peraza, and an image here of the winery. In this Leda wine from Leda Valley in Chile, Leda is the name of the producer, and again there's an image here of the estate, or in fact an old train station on the estate. And this is Bethany Wines from Barossa in Australia, and again the name is here. Very clearly the brand, the name of the family, the name of the winery is pride of place. Also with quality wine, the vintage will be there somewhere on the bottle. It may be on the back label. In the case of the Chateau de Peraza, it's on the back label, but in other wines, the vintage will be on the front label. And the vintage is important because cheaper wines, in fact, quite often are non-vintage because they're a blend from different years. There's nothing wrong with a value wine, but if the vintage is there, then at least you know it's coming from that specific year. And if it's a wine from a classic region, then vintages do tend to play an important difference in wine style. So you might have a wetter, rainy season vintage, or you might have a warmer season. So this is why we know that in Bordeaux or Burgundy, for example, or the Rhone or in Tuscany, that we say this is a great vintage or this is a less good vintage, because we want to be able to identify and understand what the weather was like in the year that that wine was made, because it plays an important part in wine style. Other thing to look for is more fun. Look for the story. Most wineries have a story on the back. It might be the grape variety, might be the history of the winery, it might give you a link to the website, and most wineries have amazing quality websites these days which give really good information. And finally, look for the alcohol. Most of us want to know what the alcohol is in our wine. It's not the most important thing. Balance of flavours and concentration in the wine is more important because alcohol is then part of the total package, but it's interesting to see what the alcohol is. That's just a few tips on reading wine labels.